am just so happy to say that Oaklyn popped my cherry.
My experiences with men have all been very different.
So they'll take all of the bad just for a little bit of the good.
That piece of a man is better than no man.
The real thing is not accessible because there hasn't been an example of that.
Is it really that deep?
Not really, but we make it that way.
Well, let's casually talk about it.
Let's do it.
What's up, everybody? It's Ressie G, not Cardi B, but I still get to the money.
And I'm Oaklyn Jonas Galloway, a.k.a. OJ the OG, because I always got the juice.
And welcome back to Casually Deep, the podcast. We are on season dose. Oh my God, who would have thought that we would be here?
Oh my goodness. I did not expect us to literally have such a great first season, let alone come back for a second season. So I'm really excited to see all of the conversations that we're going to have for this season, because I think that we were just getting our feet wet, specifically you. I think that, you know, I've been in this podcast space for a little bit. This podcast space for just a little bit. And introducing you to this arena has been very interesting. How do you feel about it?
Y'all, I am just so happy to say that Oaklyn popped my cherry when it comes down to this whole podcasting space. Because if it wasn't for Oaklyn popping my cherry, then I wouldn't be able to pop my ish on this season. So I'm excited. I mean, to me, I will definitely give you your things. I'll give you your gots and let you know that without you actually kind of pushing me to do this, because I'm not a podcaster, y'all. I like to talk mess. I like to do all of the things, but I'm not a podcaster. So, of course, going into a new space and then, you know, because he's a podcast producer. So I'm not a podcast producer. Well, now I am, thanks to him. But, you know, for me, it's just been a very interesting journey for me in this. And speaking of journeys, you moved to Dallas.
I did. I am officially a Dallas resident.
Come on, Dallasite.
I am a Dallasite. And it is it's been interesting. It's been an interesting a little bit. It's been an interesting transition. I've been enjoying it. I think that acclimating to the social scene here has been very toxic, to say the least.
Not toxic.
I enjoy Dallas. I don't enjoy the people.
Okay. You know, you haven't been here a full year yet. So like I said, I made a vow to myself when I moved to Dallas to judge it after a year. So I always encourage the same thing. You're almost there. But what do you think has been what's been your experience that was like, okay, yeah, I'm in Dallas now?
What's been my experience? It's probably been me coming out into the social scene and like actually getting out and going places and being seen. That experience has been very different because I haven't really had much experience of like doing the whole kickback scene, the whole house party scene, the whole, you know, all of that. And so getting into these different spaces with these different gays has been an observational mindfuck for me.
Observational mindfuck,
meaning that as much as I am on the outside observing what's going on with these inner circles or with these different social groups when it comes to Dallas, specifically the Dallas gays, I think that what has been interesting for me and what constitutes the mindfuck portion of this is how I kind of get drawn into these circles, because I didn't realize that I was community dick until I moved to Dallas. I didn't realize that
Unpack that. When you say community dick, what do you mean? You haven't been here, so you're not community dick, first of all. Second of all, when you say community dig, you mean people perceive you as such
People perceive me as a fuckboy.
because of...
I'm not exactly sure. I'm trying to figure that
Well,
out.
I'll tell you. Basically, what it is that the way that you look gives that. And so these low vibrational punks are going to come at you and think that that's what you are. So, I mean, there's nothing that you can change about that. There's nothing that you could do about that. But I'm just letting you know what time it is. And what time it is that they think that you is is a YN.
That. And that has been very informative of my experience. I think people, I don't know.
And there's nothing wrong with being a YN, okay? Let's be clear. There is nothing wrong with being
I'm not
a
gonna
YN.
say there's nothing wrong with being a YN.
I mean, listen, some people love the YNs. I do not. I think that the YNs are, I just don't. They're just, I choose not. It's just not my vibe. It's not my zhuzh. It's not my spagaggle. Okay. It's just not my thing. But what I will say is I think that when I first moved to Dallas, I always felt that Dallas was like a big town to a lot of small town gays. And I only say that because, you have a lot of people who move here from like, say, Meridian and Jackson and Tulsa, Oklahoma and Tyler, Texas. And so these small towns where they weren't at Shreveport, Louisiana, where they were not able to be out gay. And then they moved to the city, get them a cute little job and everything. And then all of a sudden now they are big city living. I had an experience with somebody on a particular show who I felt like was a small town gay that came here, got a good job working at the bank and making good money. And because Dallas, the cost of living in Dallas is lower than say in Atlanta or Houston, but higher than where they were from or similar to, their money went a longer way, which then would make it so that they are, big shit. And so I think that when people have this mentality of I done made it, when I first moved here, they call it the $1,000 millionaires. Like they have like this mindset of I've made it, and then they don't take time to actually learn who they are within a major city. So when I hear about like small town gays, and when I say small town gays, I mean gays in a small town moving to say Atlanta, and then them saying that they hate it or them saying that they love it, it's always rooted in dating, and it's always rooted in their experience within that. So I think that's kind of like why you have ran into a lot of people who assume you're one way and don't get to know you to see if you're another way.
And that's the wild part about it for me, is because I've kind of, and I didn't expect this to be necessarily about my dating life or lack thereof.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. But
you definitely have a dating life. I ain't got none.
I mean, I'm doing what I can, but I'm begrudgingly
I'm doing
dating.
the best with what I got.
Literally. Oh, I think.
Oh,
It's
this is what I want to see. Sorry.
that. I think it's interesting because there's a dichotomy that I'm experiencing between what people claim they want and what people actually want. Right? I think that people see me, perceive me a certain way, get to know me a little bit, realize I'm a different type of way than what they think they are, and then all of a sudden they get intimidated and they run away. I've noticed a lot of situations where I have had people be very interested in me on the surface based on what I look like, based on my vibe in the room that I'm in. And then once I give them the opportunity to get to know me or see what type of person that I am, it automatically becomes a situation of what I can only perceive as intimidation.
Are they intimidated by you, or are they intimidated by what could be?
I think it's a combination of both. I think that on the surface, they're intimidated by me because of what my look represents. And I'm speaking about this from an observational lens because I'm not a person that sees myself as this pretty boy, this hot nigga, this, da, 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 da. Like, I'm never going to see myself as ugly, but I'm not going to put 20 on 10 when it comes to what I think I look like. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, I'm hot shit. Everybody know Respucia Lattimore is fine, okay?
Well, I'm a little more humble, but
Not
fair enough.
That ain't humble.
I mean,
stay humble.
I mean, some people have the right to pop their shit, and some people just, are on their journey.
Okay.
I feel like I'm somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
So, for me, I've never gauged my value on what I look like. For me, I'm never gonna pop my shit on what I look like. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I bring so much more to the table than my looks. Mm-hmm. So I've never, and I've also never been raised to value my looks. I've always been raised to value so many other things. So when it comes to what I look like, that's always been the bottom of the totem pole for me. Mm-hmm. So my experience when it comes to dating here has been people being absorbing what I look like, perceiving what they want to perceive off of that, mm-hmm. and then once they get an actual
full scope
of mm-hmm. what I really am and what I can really bring to the table, they get scared. Or
I don't think they necessarily, just from the experiences that you've told me about, I don't necessarily think they get scared. I think that they just want what they want and they don't want what you want.
And I don't even think they take time to get to know what I want. I think that they want what they want and they realize what I have to offer, and they either get intimidated because it's more than what they can handle, or it's not what they can achieve in the moment because I'm not a fuckboy.
Right. But I think that's kind of like just gay culture in general. I think that gay men think they can get into a relationship. It's different for lesbians. Let's be clear. But I feel like gay men want this heterosexual normative, this whole lifestyle or idea. Hold on. They want this lifestyle or idea of, like, they want this image, rather, of what they saw growing up. And because they want this image of what they saw growing up, it's only through a heterosexual normative lens. And that's when they don't know how to manage that, because there are no examples of successful gay black relationships that you can reference. Like, we have to really look, and I know you and we always be like, oh, I just hope that this successful black man is with another black man. Because most of the time they're with white men or Latino men, because it's easier. And I think that's a cop-out. But I think that when it comes down to situations where people date, because I mean, I fall victim to the same thing you do, but in reverse. Because people have a tendency to think that I am just this ultimate fembi. I think I said this last season, if I'm not mistaken. And they have this idea that I'm one way, but then when they get to know me, because they fetishize me, then it's they completely just kind of cool down, unless I'm talking about, hey, come over, come lay with me, and this and that, this and that. Man has always wanted to lay me down, but never wanted to pick me up. And so I think that that's the same case with you, but you benefit from masculine privilege, top privilege, those things, and I don't. So when you have people who are masculine that approach you, they have this idea of either I'm going to dominate this person or they're going to dominate me, which then equates to sex, and then that's all that it is. But they don't really look at the level of intellect that you may have at all. You do.
You do.
She do.
Okay. I think, that's the dichotomy that I'm experiencing when it comes to my experiences, when it comes to dating. It's like, people approach me one way, realize who I am, and then all of a sudden it flips, and then I have to make the decision on whether I want to interact with that further. So whether it's people approaching me as somebody who they think they can get some quick dick from, and all of a sudden realizing, oh, I'm actually capable of more substance than that, and realizing, oh, I could actually be a boyfriend to you, and now you're wanting to cuff me after knowing me for 3 days. Or you're the person who sees what type of person I am and then wants something specific from me, but can't handle it, but can't handle the timeline that I'm willing to give it in.
Right.
That's been a lot of my experience. It's like a lot of people either see what type of person I am, get intimidated by that and run, or they see what type of person I am and they want to cuff me right now, and they don't give a damn about what type of timeline I'm on when it comes to my dating.
Right.
So
is that selfish, or where do you think that comes from? Like, what do you think that is?
I think it's completely selfish because I don't like. Here's the thing: I'm a reciprocal individual. So if somebody tells me they need something, I'm going to figure out the way to incorporate what they need into what I have to offer. Mm-hmm. Right? So if somebody tells me they need something but aren't as equally observant of what the person that they're asking their needs from, mm-hmm. What is that?
They're just a whack ass person to me. Because I mean, I've experienced that where it's all, but see, mine has been rooted in these black gay men want a wife. They want someone to be submissive. They want someone to make them feel like a man. They don't want or understand that I am a man. I'm another man as well. And I have a lot to offer into this relationship outside of the good cooking and the good boomchi cat. You get what I'm saying? And I really think that always, for me at least, when it comes down to it, and this goes back to How to Date a Gay. Make sure you guys, if you go back to season 1, How to Date a Gay, I think it was episode 5, if I'm not mistaken. And for me, when we look at How to Date a Gay, I think past that conversation is now how to date a man. Because I think that when you look at somebody like me and somebody like you, we're opposites in every way. Very Rose Nyland back in St. Olaf. He was tall, she was short. He was thin, she was fat. All of this. She was beautiful, he was ugly. He was rich, she was poor. Like all of those things. And I think that on opposite sides of the spectrum, people have to understand that men, just as much as black people are not a monolith, men are not either. And there's so many layers to dating a gay black man. There's so many layers because you have to understand, like, it kills me when people look at going to therapy as like, oh, something wrong with you. No, ain't nothing wrong with me. I just want a non-biased opinion from somebody that I can pay to actually give me the correct opinion, not my sister, my brother, my cousin, my friend that's going to go along to get along. And so I think now the conversation, we might need to talk about this whole how to date a man versus we might need to add that to the list.
We might need to add that to the list.
Because now that I'm thinking about it, when you look at how to date a black gay man, there's so many different there's so many different pockets into what that means. Because if you look at black gay drag queens, get a different dose than white gay drag queens. Black gay entrepreneurs get a different dose than straight black male entrepreneurs. Plus size black gay men get so much more than fit black gay men. And so it's like, then you get into the masculine piece of it too, because as a plus size black gay man, I didn't know that me being black, gay, and plus size was a thing until I moved to Dallas. So, I mean, that was never a thing because in Atlanta, I couldn't keep the boys off me. But here, when they saw a black gay man that was plus size, it was either I'm paying for it, which means I got the coins, but I don't pay for it. Either I'm paying for it or I have low self-esteem and I'm loud and I'm trying to prove something. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all those negative connotations that come along with it.
Right.
And so, like, even with you moving to Dallas and people see you as a piece of meat, pun intended.
Literally pun intended.
I understand it because the culture here versus the South that we're used to is different. Because it's like when you pass Mississippi, things change for the South. Because all you got is Texas after that and Louisiana. But like Atlanta, the Carolinas, Alabama, Florida, to me, are all the same, and a little bit of Kentucky. They're all, and a little bit of Tennessee. They're all the same when it comes down to when you hit a particular tax bracket. It don't matter what you look like. Do you make me happy? Are you gonna give me that good and all of that? But here, it's like you can have a nice place to stay, a nice pocket, all of these things, and they will minimize all your successes and then look at what they assume to be a lack, which is why I had, bad dating experiences here too.
Yeah, I think it's wild because all of my experiences here have been extremely shitty for wild ass different reasons. Mm-hmm. And I'm not exactly sure what the common thread is between them, because my experiences with men have all been very different. Whether it be the person who likes me because they met me at a party and then they realize that I am, whether it be the person who realizes that I'm in a certain position and doesn't take the time to get to know what the details of that are, whether it be the person who only sees me as the one night stand, whether it be the person who sees me as the immediate boyfriend and tries to cuff me on command. Like, I've been through a lot of weird ass experiences just since I've been a dad. Like, it's only been a few months since I've been here. Mm-hmm. And it's like, it's led me to question, like, what is it about me that is attracting such unhinged individuals? Because even the person who I met at a kickback, who who claims they want one thing, claims they want to be in a relationship, but approaches me like the dick that they claim they saw in my pants that night at the party, to the person who literally took me on a date, but then when it was my turn to reciprocate that, I get ghosted and then claim because I don't have this or I don't have that, or because I don't have enough for you, now all of a sudden I'm undateable. Like, it's I've narrowed my entire dating experience in Dallas so far to being someone who is attractive but only seen as an attraction. I don't think that anybody who experiences me truly wants to get to know me. I think they
hold on. Wait, let's jump back.
Sure.
Attractive, but seen only as an attraction.
Yes. I think that I'm somebody who's seen as a plaything. I think I'm...
Pun intended?
All pun intended.
Okay.
I think that I'm seen as someone who is fresh meat. I'm new in town, whatever the case may be.
Squeeze my meat.
Please. I wish I could get... I need it squeezed badly. But because I'm so picky and I'm a man of intention and principles and morals, integrity, I can't let any bitch squeeze my meat. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it's a thing of feeling like, because see, here's the thing. I kind of touched on this last season. Mm-hmm. I'm not a person who steps into the world or presents themselves in the world based on what they look like. Like, I don't walk into the world thinking I'm a pretty ass nigga. I'm this, I'm that. I don't go into the world based on what I physically contribute to society. Mm-hmm. Because I've never been perceived that way until 2023.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So
after the divorce.
Correct. Mm-hmm. And so it's interesting because, like, don't get me wrong, like, I've never been a person who's perceived myself as ugly. Mm-hmm. But I've always been valued for other things. So
Right.
now when the person that I am doesn't matter anymore, because people look at my face, my body, whatever the case may be, and they see whatever they see, it's like, I don't necessarily know how to navigate that. Also because of all of the other things that I'm carrying with me on top of that people don't take the time to get to know.
Right. They just see surface and they don't want to get to the meat, to squeeze deeper into the idea of, well, who is this person? What do they have to bring to the world? Because, I mean, for me, I can agree. And then I wish I could chunk it up to age. I wish I could, because I would venture to say that I understand how a person can be young and not understand the depth or getting to know somebody. But these motherfuckers that you dealing with is old.
Right.
These people is old.
Like, I don't deal with YNs. I don't deal with niggas younger than me. I don't do that. And so it's wild for me to see that, because it's the contradiction that comes with people's interaction with me. It seems like people always contradict themselves when it comes to what they want from me.
Do you think that has everything? Is that a them thing? Or is that a you thing though? Because, I mean, if somebody doesn't take, if they see a pecan pie,
If little Timmy,
right? If they see a pecan pie and then they see a peach pie, and they say, you know what, I wanted the pecan pie. I ain't never tasted the pecan pie, but they know what the peach pie is, but they ain't never tasted the pecan pie before. Let me go ahead and get this pecan pie. Is it the pie's fault that it looked good and they thought it was going to be good, but then it turned out not to be what it was? Or is it the person that chose that pie?
I
Fabulous
think
analogy.
that it goes into what the person expected when they reached for the pie in the first place. You went into it looking for something specific, and because you didn't get what you thought you were going to get from that, now all of a sudden my value or my quality decreases because I'm not willing or able or instinctually presenting what you want from me.
Right.
And that's the issue, is like, whether people want a fuck boy or a boyfriend from me, if people want what they want from me in the time that they want it. So whether, like, here's the thing, I'm not a prude, right? Like, I'm a man. Like, I have needs. I want to fuck just like everybody else. But I'm also a person that's selective, and I'm a man of principles. So while I am a person that has needs and do want to get my face sat on, I'm not willing to let a random bitch do it.
Ooh, welcome back.
Welcome back. But like, that's really what it is. And then it's between like the people who see me as a fuckboy realize that I'm deeper than that. And then all of a sudden they want to change gears and approach me as a nigga that they want to cuff, but you've already made the impression of me being somebody that you just want to have sex with. So now when I treat you as somebody that I just want to have sex with, now I'm the asshole because I've shown you that I'm a bigger person than just the dick I'm carrying.
Right.
And now all of a sudden you want to get to know more than that. And now because I'm giving you what you approach me as, I'm an asshole.
Right.
I either get that or the person who sees me as a fantasy or something who is unattainable to them. And because I give you the time of day, now all of a sudden you think that because I gave you the opportunity, you want to lock me in right now. And you're not cognizant of me, my timeline, what I've been through, what I'm coming into this situation with, and what I have to present. Even if I blatantly state to you where I am and what I have to contribute to a situation with you, you hear that and then see what my potential is or what you think this could be, and you ignore where I am, and then want to blame me when you don't get what you want, when I told you where I'm at.
Right.
It's wild.
I mean, you know, I think we talked about this last season, and I really appreciated the conversation that we had last season as it pertains to how Black culture fucked up Black men.
That
Episode 7, y'all go binge watch it or listen to it on all podcast platforms.
it's my favorite episode.
But for me, I think that goes back to an expectation that has been put on people within the within the African American diaspora, to be honest. But specifically when we talk about Black men, I think that there very well can be a conversation surrounding a Black man like a Boosie, and then also a Black man like a Conscious Lee. And then you got a Black man like a Don Lemon, who is Black as hell, but with a white husband.
Right.
And then you have a Black man like, say, a Black man like, say, a Ryan Coogler, who is cool with everybody and just so he will exemplify what the traditional Black man looks like and not push against the status quo. Like, I mean, it just is what it is. And so I think that there has been this standard that has been put on the Black man, gay or straight, heterosexual or homosexual, cisgender, transgender. There has been a expectancy put on men with melanin that I don't think that we will ever be able to achieve fully. I think that in certain spaces, you know, they expect for a Black man to work hard and bring home the bacon and, you know, be that person and you know, I am mad, hear me war, Alexia.
Okay, that.
But I think like even for myself, it's like even when I look at like family members, right? Like my family members, some of them, they have like their nose stuck up at me because I chose to move and come to Dallas. I chose to venture out and do more with my life because I was like, you know, I want to try something else because I can't be stuck in Atlanta. I can't be only limited to Atlanta. Granted, my career as a stylist sent me all these places, blah, 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 blah. But when I moved here immediately, there was like a shutdown to my Black ass family who just felt like I moved away because I was better than them. I'm not wealthy yet. I don't have all the coins yet. What I do have is ambition that you don't have. Like I have a cousin who, my middle namesake, I talked about her before last season, and when I did my first production and was on TV and she was not, immediately she was evil. And it's like, well, what do you expect from me to do? What I know how to do is brand, market, be a personality, talk shit, say the things that people want to hear, and be entertaining. And I have to turn that into light bill money, rent money, mortgage,
revenue.
You know, paying bills. I have to turn that into some type of revenue. Right. Or what would you have me do? You want me to go out and sell booty? Put myself at risk for so many different things. And so I'm like, it always hurts my feelings how people have this expectancy for me. And then when I pop, quote unquote, it's a problem now. Because all of them thought I was going to be a singer. When I was growing up, everybody thought I was going to sing and this and that. And how often do singers make it? How often does that happen? And so when I chose another path into even styling and working with like housewives and stuff like that, it was one thing. And then I remember when the Bailey Bowl episode came out, she was like, I see you on TV being an extra. And I'm just like, listen, I wasn't being an extra. I was asked to be a part of what was happening. And that hurt my feelings. But then when I went back home to send my mama home up to heaven,
Right.
It was like this air of, y'all see what I'm doing. Y'all see how I've done all these shows and this and that and this and that. Because my mama talked about it. She gonna brag on me. But at the same time, none of y'all except for one of my cousins. Shout out to Shy, my cousin Shy. So ghetto. I'm so ghetto for that. But shout out to Shy because Shy actually supported me and was involved in what I had going on. Right. And not holding me to this unreachable expectation of what the culture has put on me. And now I know from last year to now, over this year, you know, I've done a lot of things, and I've noticed how being Black and gay and striving, not saying that I made it, but that process, that in between stage from when, you know, you're not broke, but you ain't rich, and you're constantly you ain't leveled out yet. You and your quote unquote approaching your prime. I have gotten so much more backlash from my own people, Black gay people, when I was the president of Impulse, the first Black president of a organization with no degree, with no prior experience. All I had was passion. I received so much backlash from the Black gay community in Dallas. When I was voted in, I had 3 months prior to my term to prepare, basically. And it was like a rush job. So I immediately hit up all of my community partners, all the Black people. And I said, hey, look, listen, I'm going to have this budget. I know that we can do some things together. What's up? And all of them just turned their noses up to me, except for 2. Wow. And I hit up 10. I hit up about maybe 11. And all of them turned their noses up at me. And just, you left me on red. They read the message and kept going until my second year of my term. And they saw the things that I had been doing, not only for the Black community, but for everybody. And then all of a sudden, now you want to listen. And it's like, no, it's too late now. Leave me alone. And that's the same thing with my family. To me, I would not have these expectations on me if I was white. If I was any other race other than Black. Of course, there are disadvantages for everyone, but I'm gonna use white because white privilege is a heavy privilege.
Sure.
If I was white and doing this work, I would not have received. I don't believe that I would have received half of the weight or the guilt that was placed upon me if I did not succeed. And then even looking at the web reality space, still that expectation is put on me. And I don't believe it would be put on me if I didn't look the way that I look, for being the first plus size feminine EP to make a successful, all of that stuff. But it all boils down to, in this arena, still to this day, I'm the only one that looks like me. Right. And so the expectation that's on me from the Black community, because all the white folks, my fans in Anguilla and Amsterdam and all of that, London, everyone that supports me overseas is just like, we love your work. Right. And then there's a vast majority of people that love my work here and they just support. But then a lot of those people want me to talk a particular way. They want me to, everything that I say is shady just because of the way that I talk. Stacey Rush effect. That. So it's like, that still rings so true to me that Black culture fucked up Black men. Black culture fucked up Black men, not gay culture. Well, shit. Well, that's another conversation.
I mean, shit, that's probably the follow up to that episode, because I think that the subculture of gay culture within the Black culture is another peril of that, because I think that there is a level of expectancy when it comes to gay culture that isn't necessarily realistic. And I think that it's, you know, I think it's an extension of gender conformity and the rebel against that women have had, because I think that there's a similar thread between women who want to be doted on by men but also treated as equal, and gays who want to be treated like women but respected as men. That's not being talked about.
Okay. I think that's loaded, first of all. Second of all, I agree. Because I think the reason why certain men, gay men, want to be treated like women is because most gay black men gravitate to their mothers. And they don't have the example of acceptance as a young black gay man from their father, which is why I loved seeing Duran Bernard up there at the Grammys with his daddy by his side.
So beautiful.
And I appreciate my dad, may he rest. I appreciate him affirming my femininity at a young age, because that kind of built me up to be, tough, built tough.
Yeah, for me, it was like another example of Duran and his dad was seeing Evie Oddly and her dad when she won Drag Race. That was so affirming for me. It was like, wow, like that exists. Beautiful to see.
And I think it does exist, but I do think that there's not an example of what that feels like, or what that looks like. It's kind of like, I've eaten steak and I don't want to go back to chicken, but you can't tell me what steak tastes like because all I've had is steak fried chicken. It's only been a idea of what could be better or what is supposed to taste right, but at the same time, it's not, the real thing is not accessible because there hasn't been an example of that. I wish we lived in a world where you can walk out into your local grocery store and a man approaches you and flirts with you and says, what you cooking for dinner and all of that stuff. And then next thing you know, you're having dinner with him 2 weeks later. That's an anomaly.
And I wish people, and I think the reason why it's an anomaly is because people need an example.
Instead of being the example.
I think that's what makes me specifically different from a lot of men, is that I grew up with the desire to be the change that I wanted to see.
Come on.
Versus wanting to go out and seek the change that I desired. And so for me, I come into a lot of situations with a different level of expectation. And I think that a lot of people see the type of person that I actually am. And I think that's why a lot of people run, is because people interpret me as shallow and surface. And then once they have a conversation with me, they realize that I require a level of self-awareness that they are not able to quantify.
So would you say that, because when we filmed season 1, you were just visiting.
Facts.
We didn't even go out when you were here. We just worked.
Right.
Do you think that from then to now, with you remembering what we talked about on episode 8, what is desirability, do you think that from your experience that your viewpoint on desirability then has changed now?
I think that I have a solid answer to a question that I asked in that episode. I asked in that episode, am I actually desirable or am I traditionally hot? For shorter phrases. I think that I've kind of gotten an answer to that and realized that I don't think I am desirable. I think that I'm attractive.
What would be the difference, though?
Because desirability inquires a pursuit past superficial attraction for me. Because if I find someone desirable, I look past what you generally look like and I want to get to know you as an individual. So it's past, you sexy, your ass is fat, I want to fuck. It's like, I want to get to know who you are, what makes you tick, what is interesting to you.
Because you desire someone like that, or because you want to, I guess, build with some, like when we look at, when you look at desirability, you was naming off those traits. Is it because you desire to be with someone like that, or do they have traits that you desire to have?
It depends on the individual. I think that I've seen both, but for me, the root of that is I wasn't raised with superficial values.
Got it.
I wasn't raised to stop and start at what someone looks like or what they have physically or financially. I think I was raised with a deeper level of context than that when it comes to the person that I extend my emotional availability to. So I may be a rare individual who how can I say this? I'm one of the last people who is in my age group who values something more than what a person can provide. And I think for me, when it comes to what I'm interpreted as, I think that people look at me a certain way, and then when I am not necessarily that person, it kind of twists what their approach to me is, whether it be positive or negative.
Do you think that being emotionally available by choice to certain people, that it's easy for those people to mistake emotional availability to literal availability? Because I find that for me, I've always been a person, I'm going to ask all the questions and I'm only going to answer the questions that you ask.
Sure.
That's it. That's me. That's it. And I'm not going to give you my emotional availability or my emotional side until I see that you're worth it. I'm not going to cry in front of you. Anybody that I cry in front of, there's a level of security that I've developed with that person to say, okay, well, I know that I can be vulnerable with you in this space or in this moment and not be judged. And so I can show you that I am emotionally connected to what's going on versus I'm looking for a pity party.
I think that that's individualistic to the person, because I am somebody who can live in their emotional expression without being emotionally available to it, if that makes sense. Like, I'm somebody who can talk about things that require emotional availability without actually giving emotional availability to what I'm talking about. So
I think that goes back to the whole thing of, some of the stuff that you express to people or that I may express to people about my past or about you may express about your past is deep to them, but it's really not deep to us.
Correct.
Okay.
And I think that that's where a level of emotional intelligence versus emotional availability comes in, because I think a lot of people are emotionally available but not emotionally intelligent. And that's where people get fucked up. Right. Because they're emotionally available to people who aren't emotionally intelligent, and then they end up getting their feelings taken advantage of and used against them. And I've been victim to that. So
what do you think about that person that falls victim to that? Since you said you fell victim to it or have fallen victim to it, how do they fall victim to it if they're emotionally aware of what's going on? Are they? Or do you just get caught up in your feels?
I think it's a combination of all of those things.
Okay.
I think that a person can see something that is a red flag and cognitively see the person who's delivering that red flag and make the choice to internalize all of the things around that they see as positive to cover up that red flag. You know what I'm saying? Like for example, this person may see that this person is a cheater. Mm-hmm. You see that this person has a cheating spirit and ain't gonna be faithful.
Because your spirit ain't right.
Because your spirit ain't right. But you see that this person is willing to be a financial provider, tricks off on you, fucks you good, comes home when you want them to be home, is available for you when you want them to be available for you, listens to you cry about all your bullshit, but they gonna fuck other niggas. You're gonna sit here and, or that person who I'm speaking about in this moment, can make a choice to take all of the things around that because of the financial security, because of the availability for them when they need them to be, and think that all of those things outside of the fact that they fucking other niggas is going to overshadow that.
So they'll take all of the bad just for a little bit of the good.
That. It's very, a piece of a man is better than no man.
That's crazy.
And I will never be that person.
That's crazy. I would never.
If I was that person, I would still be married.
I would never.
No,
fire.
and that's no shade to my ex-husband.
Fire.
Okay,
Fire.
that's no shade to my ex-husband. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. Like, we've had this conversation. He's not hearing anything new. He listens to the show. Shout out to you. What up, husband?
Husband, crazy.
I think that my ex-husband knows why we got divorced.
Right.
So me saying this on the pod is not anything new. Like, I'm not saying any new information that he hasn't heard before. You know what I'm saying? I divorced my ex-husband because he wasn't emotionally available first, and then there was a litany of other things on top of that that didn't allow me to overshadow that. I wasn't allowed the opportunity to mask the main problem with the other bullshit. And that's why I got divorced.
Right.
Was because I could no longer suffocate my real issue with, oh, he's a great guy, he provides, he's this, he's that. Because there were so many other things that clouded that. It was like, okay, well, I ain't got nothing to mask your bullshit no more.
Right.
So what do we do here?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if I was a person who was willing to deal with that, I would still be married because my ex-husband is not a bad person. He made a lot of bad decisions in our marriage because we were 19 when we met.
Right.
But I'm also 34 at this point, and there's
a lot of growth that happens.
There's a lot of growth that happens, and I'm the type of person who has had a lot of shadow work to do.
Right.
Outside of my ex-husband. So being with somebody who's on a level of healing, shout out to Monique, on a level of healing, and you're not on that journey with me, there's going to be a natural level of divide and separation that's going to occur within that relationship, regardless of whether y'all had a solid foundation or not.
Right. And so I think that too, though, going back to Black culture, fucked up Black men, I think that because you are a Black man, he is a Black man that got married, the baby, all of that, had the idea of what every man looks for, the kid, the house, the this, the that. And the expectation is put upon people like y'all, the married people, to have a successful marriage, not for the sake of it gets a little bit deeper when it comes down to Black folks, because you are supposed to be the example, and not necessarily be not staying together because of the kids, not staying together because y'all push through all the other things, but stay together because we need to see that. And I think that is yet again another expectation, because I mean, we even do it with famous couples and people. Like, I mean, nobody want Will and Jada to have no problems. Beyonce and Jay-Z, we don't want y'all to have any problems.
Right.
you know, and so now we have this new era of couples that are coming up. You know, Sierra and Russell, everybody want the Sierra and Russell love story.
Sure.
But at the same time, the work that goes into a heterosexual relationship versus a homosexual relationship that's black as fuck
It's vastly different.
is completely different. And I hate that. I'm glad that we can have these conversations, but I hate that people continue to put an unrealistic expectation on what single folk is supposed to do, what married folk is supposed to do, and then double down twice as hard on black gay folk.
Right. And also, there's a part of me that recognizes that the Sierra Rush, like, Sierra's prayer is not unattainable. But what a lot of people miss is the work that comes with that, both individually and as a couple.
Right.
And I think that people think, oh, you know, a good man comes and it just is what it is. And, you know, you just like, no, there's work that goes into that. And I think there's a reason why Russell Wilson is the way that he is, the man that he is to the woman that Sierra is.
Right.
Sierra did the work. Russell was a man that was ready.
She did the work prior to Russell, and they both are doing the work together.
Correct.
And I think that all boils down to the level of communication you have with your partner.
That.
And you're not forcing them to be somebody that they're not too soon.
That.
I can't put an expectation on a man that's going to go out and bring home the bacon and then I'm supposed to cook it if he don't know where the bacon come from.
That's something that I'm dealing with now. There's a guy that I was dealing with because I don't think I'm going to be dealing with him anymore. But there was a guy that I was dealing with who I actually liked or had the potential of liking, but he wasn't able to understand that I'm in a place that's not my timeline as far as how I'm able to show up in a potential relationship does not look like what you think it should look like. And so the amount of effort or presence that I'm giving to this relationship is undermined because it doesn't look a certain way to you.
But it wasn't a relationship.
I'm just speaking in general terms.
I'm just saying.
I'm just speaking in general terms.
Just saying.
I'm just speaking in general terms. Because here's my thing. You can't claim yourself to be catching feelings or falling for someone if you don't know what you're falling for.
Right. If you can't verbalize exactly what you like about me, you don't like me. And I've had that happen a lot of times.
I have it happen all
because
the time.
You can't tell me that you think I'm this amazing person. And then when I say to you, well, what makes me amazing? You say, you so sweet and you care about people and you so nice and that's it. That's all you got.
That's all you got.
Yeah. Hell, if you describing me as amazing, I don't even think I'm amazing based on that description.
That.
Like, girl, what?
And for me, it's like, if a person asks me, or if I ask a person what makes me individual or special or what makes me stand out to them, and they give me anything that they could say to anybody else, I'm immediately turned off. Because I'm an observative individual. I'm somebody who, if I'm going to tap in with you, it's going to be because of very specific reasons. If I'm going to say out loud that I like you, it's going to be for very specific reasons, not just because, oh, you took me out.
And it's cute to say.
And it's cute to say, and because you're willing to hold my hand in public. Like, see. I think with a lot of gay men, and I was about to crank it and I had to pull myself back. I think what a lot of gay men are not willing to have the conversation with about themselves is that they are not willing to accept that they find value in the most shallow of shit.
Give me an example.
Because a man texts you back. Because a man takes you out on a date. because a man is willing to hold your
Surface
hand in
level stuff.
public.
Everybody got a house.
Everybody got a house. Because a man is willing to hold your hand in public. Because a man is willing to be seen with you in public.
Mm-hmm.
Because a man is willing to pay for your meal or compliment you or things that should be customary.
But you're so deprived of what it means to be appreciated when a man does these small things, because I think that they're very small.
That you think a man is moving mountains.
Important but small.
Exactly.
He's moving a mountain.
Right. Which is why which is honestly why I feel like I get caught up in a lot of the situations that I get caught up in. Because you say this to me all the time, and I get what you mean.
What I say?
But it was never programmed to me in this way of saying I'm a person that does a lot of boyfriend shit.
Oh, yeah, I'm right.
When I move with people that I'm interested in, I move like a boyfriend.
I think that a lot of people do boyfriend shit for nothing as niggas. I do believe that.
And I believe I'm one of those people, and it's because I was raised a certain way.
And I hate that I'm not that person anymore, because I am a little nervous as to...
I hate that I'm that way now.
Because I think I said it last season, where I didn't believe in the whole you become friend. We started out as friends first, and then we fell in love type of thing, because I never, because I was of the mind of... if I see somebody that I like, I'm going to look at them as somebody that I want to be with, not as a friend. And then my approach is going to be different. Now at 31 years old, I can say 35 to be exact.
We can.
Okay. I understand now that when you are friends with someone in a healthy way, you can actually see yourself potentially moving forward with them in a relationship, in a romantic way. Because I understand the things that I look for in a man, and then if I have someone to actually affirm that, then my thought becomes, okay, well, maybe if the opportunity ever presented itself and the music stopped and we the last two standing, all right, what's your ring size? But then when I think about how I used to be, it does, and it dawned on me the other day, today, it dawned on me how much, because I have this thing about how much time have I lost by the decisions that I made in the past, even though I have tons of lessons from those things.
I struggle with that often.
Like, what if I was a producer coming straight out of high school,
right,
instead of being a stylist coming straight out of high school? What if my first internship wasn't working under a boutique owner, but it was working at CNN because I was in Atlanta? It was working for PBS because I actually styled someone that was featured on a fashion show at PBS, and I had a connection with a producer there. What if that was the thing? But instead, God had another plan, and he said, well, in 2016, because this was back in 2009 when I graduated, but in 2010 is when I first really got started. But in 2016, I'm gonna give you what you need. And then I think about that in the way of the relationship thing, because it's such a shocker that people, when I tell people, I've never been in a relationship, and then they're just like so flabbergasted. And then I always wonder, when they are shocked, what is the next thought? Because whenever I have a shocking moment, I have follow-up questions, but nobody ever asks me the questions. And so this is, I'm realizing something in real time here.
Work.
But yes, deep. But but yeah, that's we're gonna have to revisit that and talk about that more in this season for sure.
100%.
Was there anything else last season that stood out to you?
I think there's a couple things that stood out to me about last season. One, I look better with facial hair.
Come on, facial hair.
I've learned my lesson on that. I need an earring and I need a mustache at all times. Outside of the superficial, one thing that I take from last season into this season is my stance on DL men.
Oh. Do tell.
I watched.
Could you ever date a DL man today?
Today? No.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Because there's nothing that a DL man can offer me at all.
But
Based on what I need from a relationship, there's nothing that a DL man
What
can
was the
offer
what
me.
was the difference?
The difference is that I don't feel that a DL man needs a safe space to come out at this point. And I feel like last season I felt not necessarily that a man needed a safe space, but that if he had one, it would be easier for him to come out, which I still agree with. But however, I feel like life is not easy. We're just getting started with season 2 because apparently we're not done turning casual conversations into full-blown life reflections.
What starts as just a thought somehow ends with us unpacking childhood, relationships, and the meaning of existence every single time.
Thank you for coming back, for listening, for sharing, and for going deep with us when you thought this was just gonna be light.
Make sure you lock in because if this episode got deep, just